On the court, all stars make assists look easy. Behind the back, no look, or off the backboard, they're dropping dimes non-stop. That's how we feel about coverage and savings. Combine your home and auto with State Farm and start your own assist highlight reel. After all, even all-stars need an assist. Call agent Paul Dawning for help to combine your home and auto and enjoy the savings. Dial 219-884-6947 or visit www.pauldawning.com. That's PAULDAWNING.com. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. I am your host, Kevin King. He is I, and I am him, the 800 Credit Score Man himself. And again, thank each and every one of you for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. Today, what in the world are we going to talk about? Today, we're going to discuss how to dispute items on your credit report. So if you've got things on your credit report that are in error, or if you got things on your credit report that are negative that you need to get off of there, we're going to discuss that today. We're going to discuss how to do it, when should you do it, where should you do it, how do you go through that whole process. So that's going to be the bulk of the show for today, how to dispute items off of your credit report. And I've got to give a couple of shout outs, and I want to say, since Wednesday's coming up, Wednesday will be February the 14th, and that's Valentine's Day. So I want to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. And I've got to give a couple shout outs to people that are born on that love day. So the first person is my sister. That's Pamela Denson. I want to say happy birthday, sis. Her birthday is on February the 14th. A love baby. So happy birthday to you, sis. And I got to give a shout out to Eva Hillman as well. She celebrates her birthday on Valentine's Day as well. So happy birthday to both of you ladies. All right, so let's jump into the show about how to dispute things. What are we going to do about them? If you've got items on there, should you dispute them? All of those kinds of things. We're going to jump into that. First, I want to give you a statistic right quick, and that is the fact that 79% of people have found errors on their credit reports, and they are wondering how can they get them removed. Now, that is amazing to me that a system that is set up the way this system is, that so many people, such a high percentage of people, are finding errors on their credit report. So it is a good chance that you could have an error on your credit report if you have not checked your credit report, and especially if you've been listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show and you haven't checked your credit report. Shame on you. You've got to check your credit report. So, of course, I hope you know that you can get your credit report for free through the Fair Credit Reporting Act from www.annualcreditreport.com. You can go there and you can get your credit report for free from all three credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, as well as TransUnion. You can get it from all three of them for free once every 12 rolling months. So just because it's not on the calendar year, just because it's 2018 and you go and get it doesn't necessarily doesn't mean that you just wait till 2019 and you can pop and get it again. It's on a rolling 12-month basis. So this is the month of February. Then that means 12 months from now you can get it again. So make sure you go and you check your credit report. If you're not going to go there to check your credit report, then of course you can always sign up with one of those places that will allow you to see one or two or maybe even sometimes all three of your credit reports. So make sure you go and take a look at your credit report. Go over it with the fine-tooth comb. If you see something that you do not recognize, you are going to want to file a dispute on it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So what do you want to dispute off on your credit report? Any negative information. So if you've got negative information on your credit report, even if it's actually yours, then you may want to go ahead and file a dispute on it. Now, generally speaking, when you file a dispute for something that's negative on your credit report, The only thing that is supposed to come off your credit report is if it's not yours, if it's in error. Those are the things that the credit bureaus are supposed to go ahead and take off your credit report. So even if you are the person that owns that particular collection account, yes, you had something to do with it. You didn't pay somebody. You co-signed for somebody, and that person, that account went bad, and it's on your credit report. I would say dispute that account anyway. You never know. Maybe it'll come off your credit report. And if it doesn't come off your credit report, all you did was use 15, 20 minutes of your time trying to get that done and get it off of your credit report. Disputing those negative items will help your credit score if it comes off of your credit report. It'll absolutely help your credit score. So I would say if there are any negative items on there that you want to go ahead and dispute those items from your credit report. And of course, if there's an error on your credit report, if it's not yours, you have no idea who this person is, who this company is, you've never had an account with them, then you want to go ahead and dispute that error as well. Sometimes you'll see a collection on your credit report and it says from XYZ collection agency or whoever, and you have no idea who they are. You may not know who the original creditor is. If you look at your credit report, it will tell you who the original creditor is. And if you don't recognize who that company is, then yes, you absolutely want to go ahead and dispute that particular account or that particular negative information that's on your credit report. So you definitely want to do that. Now, in general, or more so, let's say a specific example. If you have a collection, you've got that collection, again, like I just said, you don't know where it came from. Make sure you go ahead and you file a dispute with that, dispute with the credit bureau on that. And we're going to get into that a little bit further down the show on where you want to dispute, who do you want to dispute those items with. We'll get to that down the line a little bit in the show. If you've got late payments, on your credit report from a company that you still have an account with, or even a company that you don't have an account with anymore, it is closed, you can dispute those negative items like late payments as well. So I would suggest, if you're in the mode of cleaning up your credit, you're trying to get your credit scores to pop, and you've got late payments, then I'm going to suggest that you go ahead and file a dispute. Say that you weren't late. Maybe you were, maybe you weren't, maybe you just don't remember. Maybe you want to plead the fifth on that. But whatever it is, then you can go ahead and file a dispute in regards to those late payments. You can also call the company. Now, here's something that I have had clients do often. You have a current account with a company. I'm suggesting you've had 1, 2, maybe 3 late payments, that you call the company that you have the account with and you ask them to go ahead and remove that from your credit report. So if you got a late payment and that late payment was 7 months ago, you call the company and say, hey, could you remove that late payment from my credit report? Now, you've already paid the late fee and all of those things that may come along with being late, but please give them a call. It doesn't cost you anything but 10 minutes to talk to somebody on the phone, and the only thing that they can say is no. So if they say no, then big deal, then you move on with your day. You could also send them a letter. This letter is commonly called the goodwill letter. You can send them a letter, make it short and concise. If you had an issue at one point in time, for whatever it is, maybe you had a medical issue, maybe you were laid off from your job, maybe you had a car accident and you couldn't get to work, so you were lacking them funds to go ahead and make that payment, or maybe it's simply slipped your mind at that particular point in time and you were able to pay. Send them a letter. Let them know how long you've had that account, that this was your first time being late, and since then you've had a perfect record on paying. Place those things in your letter to the company, not to the credit bureaus, to the company that you have that account with, and ask them for forgiveness. So it's called a goodwill letter commonly. It may be called something else somewhere. So all you people that want to go out and Google goodwill letter so you can figure out what to say in it, I'm telling you now, make that letter short and concise. I'm talking 8-10 sentences, no more than that, Nobody wants to read your whole medical history and all of those things. They're not going to do that when they're considering taking off that particular late payment. So send them a letter and ask them if they will go ahead and remove that for you. They may actually do it. Very recently, let me tell you this story. Very recently, I was speaking with someone and they had eight late payments on one account. I believe the account was already closed. Maybe it was still open, but they had 8 late payments spanning over several years with a particular account. They contacted them, and the company said, yes, we will remove the late payments from your credit report. Now we're talking 8. I've never seen that before. We always been begging, if it's been 1 or 2, to get them to remove those late payments from your credit report. This place said, hey, we'll go ahead and we'll remove those. You've been a good customer for the most part with us. We'll remove those late payments. So I'm interested, and I can't wait to see what the difference is going to make for this particular person's credit score, because they've had all of those late payments removed from that one account. So all is not lost. Just because you've had 2, 3, 4, 5, or I guess maybe even 8, you might want to go ahead and take your best shot and see if they'll remove them. Now, there's also places that I know, and I've just been having this conversation about this recently, of a place that, for one person, same company, for one person, they said, okay, fine, we'll move the 1, 2 late payments that you've had from your credit report. But the same company told somebody else that had just 1 late payment that they would not remove it. Absolute same company. So here's my suggestion for that. If this happens to you, you don't get the outcome that you're looking for. And say you call the company and whoever you spoke to just said, no, we don't do that, we're unable to do it, or what have you. Don't argue. Don't argue with that particular person. Say thank you, hang up the phone. You can either call right back, especially if it's a huge company. The chances that you'll get somebody in the same office, or maybe even in the same state, or maybe not even in the same country the next time you call that 800 number back again and talk to somebody else. See if somebody else will be able to help you. If you can't get it done that way, then I'm going to suggest to you that maybe you try a different time of the day. So if you called and it's 9 o'clock in the morning, you talk to somebody and they did not want to be helpful to you in your estimation, call again. Call in the afternoon. Call later at night. If they say that their customer service hours are over at 8 o'clock, then call at 7:50 and talk to somebody on the phone then. If you don't get what you want to the person that actually answers the phone, ask to speak to a supervisor. Now, if you have a contentious issue, you and that person go back and forth, he's nasty or she's nasty and you're nasty back and whatnot, then that's not the person you want to ask to send you to a supervisor. So next time you give a call, then you say, hey, let me speak to a supervisor. Maybe the supervisor will be able to help you more than the person that initially answered the phone for you. So I'm going to make that suggestion to you. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure that you give them a call at different times, and maybe you'll get a different outcome, because seriously, just the last couple of days, we're talking about the same company, and some people got theirs removed, others did not get theirs removed. So it's absolutely possible to have those late payments removed when you're talking about getting those things off of your credit report. If you get those things off your credit report, it's going to help your credit score tremendously. Told you time and time again that late payments from your credit on your credit report can drop your score 30, 40, 60 points in one whop. If you go ahead and contact these people, then maybe you can gain some of those points back. So make sure you do that. All right, so before I go on to the next one, let me give a couple more shout-outs because I don't want to save them all to the end of the day. I want to shout out Elma Shaw. She celebrated her birthday last week. Probably should have been on last week's show. So happy birthday to you, Elma Shaw. I got to give a huge happy birthday shout out to Karen Owens as well. Happy birthday to you. She celebrated her birthday last week as well. And I got to give a shout out to Kara Townsend. Happy birthday to you, Kara Townsend. I hope you're doing well. And I will make sure I reach out to you to say happy birthday personally to you. And today is Glenn Terry's birthday. So big shout out to Glenn Terry, member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the Alpha chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi. So happy birthday to you, GT. All right, so let's jump on to some other stuff. We talked about the late payments. Do your Goodwill letter. Maybe you'll get some of those coming off your credit report. And let me mention this. It really doesn't matter who the account is with. Some places